Hey guys, what is going on? Devon here. Hope you guys are having a good day so far, and welcome to the first episode of Kingdom Hearts 101. This is a new podcast series in which me and my friend Josh will be going through the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series, getting Josh's predictions for each game as we go through them, and hopefully turning him into a lifelong fan. I don't know, we'll figure out that last one later. I just want to give a few notes on this episode. The recording space that we did this first episode in was very echoey, and it is very noticeable. Just wanted to point that out real quick, and also to let you know that every episode afterwards we'll be recording in a new space so that the acoustics are a little bit better for when we record. Also, every episode will be completely uncensored, so coarse language, inappropriate humor, all that good jazz will be completely out in the open. So if you're sensitive to that kind of material, you might want to stop the video here. If not, then sit back, relax, and enjoy this first episode of Kingdom Hearts 101. Let me know what you guys think, and enjoy. Hello, everybody. My name is Devon and welcome to Kingdom Hearts 101. I am joined by Josh Music. Josh, you want to say hi?
Hello. Greetings to all the people in the YouTube land and the Twitterverse and Marvel and DC universe and all that.
All right. So, yeah, I guess before we jump into it, let's talk about what exactly this is. So for all two of you who don't know this, I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. It's my all-time favorite franchise. I'm borderline obsessed with it. And yeah, I've always been wanting to try and introduce it to new people. Josh, you have not played any of the games, correct?
I have not, well, for more than 30 seconds. I think I played a little bit the one time. Mm-hmm. You were stuck on a level. I couldn't tell you that. Like I don't even remember the specific details. This was like a year ago. So I haven't actually sat down and played them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what this that's kind of what this series is going to be. Is that I'm basically going to be following Josh through his experience playing through all the games, because I asked him if he would be interested in like actually getting into the game, so that whenever I'm talking about it, he'll know what I'm talking about and whatnot.
I would just nod my head politely and be like, yeah. That's a thing.
But then I sort of got the idea of like, why don't we do something fun about it? I'll say this right now. I am totally ripping off Gigaboots' Gamer Premonitions podcast because they, when Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out, they had sort of like a podcast of what expectations they had for Kingdom Hearts 3 and stuff like that. So I figured this would be kind of fun to not only have Josh go through all the games, but also to I guess, show off like sort of a before and after. Like you can talk about like what expectations you have going into the next game, and then after we play through it, we'll come back in the next episode and you can tell us your thoughts and what you expected came true or what you weren't expecting and whatnot, and what predictions and expectations you have for the series going forward after yada yada yada. Does that sound cool?
Oh yeah, I'm expecting big things because I hear a lot of people like the game. So I'm expecting, some laughs, some tears, some people go die. Be like, Game of Thrones, but Disney eyes. Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily call the games like too higher. Like they're dumb, but like they're a very special kind of dumb in that they yeah, exactly. They're a very special kind of dumb in that they take themselves seriously to the point where it's like you just can't help but sort of laugh along and for the ride and whatnot. It's really enjoyable, and I think you'll get a kick out of it.
You're a fan, right?
No, I hate these games. They're
well, I was gonna say you call them dumb. They're a special kind of dumb.
Yeah, like they're really endearing, and the fact that it takes itself so seriously, you just can't help but kind of appreciate and enjoy. And yeah, that's kind of what I've drawn through it. I will say we won't be playing through all of the games. We'll be playing through on all the games that are on the PS4 collections. But some of them are obviously movies, so we won't be able to go through all of them, with the exception of one game, which I'll just be showing the cutscene theater because, good lord, it is a nightmare to actually play through. I was playing through it just today, and I was just like, no, I'm just showing you the cutscenes because this is
is the gameplay just ridiculously hard?
Or it's so hard. I guess just sort of throw this out the way. I'm talking about Chain of Memories. It was originally a Game Boy Advance game that was ported to the PS2. Anyway, it goes on a completely different gameplay system than what the other games are, and it is, even on beginner, it will pull your hair out. It is.
So basically, they throw a wrench into the works for the sake of throwing a wrench into the works.
More or less, yeah. So yeah, that for Chain of Memories, I'll just be showing the cutscenes, as well as for Days and Coded, because those are already a cutscene theater in the collection. But all the other games, KH1, KH2, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, and Kingdom Hearts 3 will all be playing through them. But yeah, before we get into those games, let's talk about a little bit about the history of Kingdom Hearts, because I feel like it's kind of fun to sort of see how we're doing an introduction. It'd be fun to actually talk about like the actual history of the game and stuff like that, because it's so odd. Because usually when people look at it, it's just like, oh yeah, it's a crossover between Disney and SquareEnix. That's just like, because I know you're a pretty big gamer, but like you're a very classic gamer. Like, you know,
I've been out of the loop for quite a while. I just haven't made time.
Fair enough. I'm kind of in the same boat, like between school and work and stuff like that. You don't really find time. This is the one franchise that I have to find time for, because it's like it's like the series twists and turns have me by the balls, so like I just gotta be a part of it. But yeah, so yeah, the idea that between Disney and Square Enix is really weird, and it was like that when the game was announced, like back in 2000 when it entered development. So the idea initially started between two Square representatives, Shinji Hashimoto and Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of the Final Fantasy series. They were talking about Super Mario 64 and how they wanted to make a game like that had like full 3D movement and stuff like that. But they felt like it wasn't going to be popular enough because, like, you know, Mario is a really popular character, and they felt that the only character that could even rival Mario in popularity would be like Disney characters. So this is when the man, the myth, the legend, Final Fantasy character designer Tetsuya Nomura enters the room. He overhears this conversation and he's like, yo, I have some really weird fanfic ideas that can totally apply to your idea of a Disney game. I'll lead that. I'll direct that game for you guys if you want. They were just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, we've kept you in the corner long enough. You might as well show us what you got. And so yeah, they started gearing up, and so they were gonna prepare to show it off to Disney. So a little context: Disney and Square Enix were sharing a building at the same time in Japan. So
funny that.
So literally, Shinji Hashimoto and a Disney executive met one morning in the elevator, and Hashimoto pitched the idea directly to that Disney executive on the elevator ride up to the office, saying, hey, we have a really cool idea. You guys want to exchange numbers and sort of talk it out? And so we were like, yeah, sure, we'll get on it. And yeah, more or less development started right off the bat. Like, I every time I hear that story, it's just like, that's such a weird chance encounter. Like, oh, I guess we're like, anything can happen.
Well, it's just like, hell, what was the one movie that was written on the back of a air sickness bag?
Oh, I'm trying to remember, because I do know.
Or no, that was the design for the AMC Gremlin.
Oh, yeah.
It was drawn on the back of an air sickness bag. I mean, weirder shit has happened.
So yeah, the game sort of took off from there. It started development in 2000. Nomura was director, Hashimoto was producer, and basically Disney gave them the green lit to basically use any of their properties in any capacity that they wanted, with some caveats. For example, I think there was another company that was using Mickey Mouse in another video game, so Disney was like, you can't use Mickey.
You can't use the mouse.
You can't use King Michael. So Nomura was just like, yeah, but he's still integral to the plot, so is there any way we can work this out? And so Disney was like, you know what, fine, we'll throw him in at the end, and you can just that's all you get from him. There's just that one scene, and they were just like, all right, we can work with that. But everything else, apparently, according to Nomura, was fair game. They could go to town on anything, and so they spent a few years on development, and that game was announced at E3 2001, and basically everybody was like, what the fuck is this? what exactly is this game? Just because Final Fantasy was such a weird, outlandish JRPG franchise, and combining it with Disney just does not make sense on paper. It doesn't necessarily make any sense. Lo and behold, the game was released in 2002, and everybody loves it. One of the highest selling PlayStation 2 games of all time. And basically that's where the history of the first game really ends. There was a final mix release that's basically the early days of DLC, where they just re-released the game with some added shit added to it. Yeah, and that'll be the version that we'll be playing, because the final mix version has all of the DLC roped in and stuff like that. Final mix, I should say. Sorry. But yeah, that's just so weird. Yeah. So, does that pique your interest, Josh?
Yes. Yes, it does. I'm excited to see where this is going. Disney and a Japanese game studio. Something you'd think you could only hear on the internet in the corners of weird forums actually exists in a game form.
And this is the early days of the internet, so it's those really weird forums.
Yeah, it's the back corners of the internet where only the weirdest weebs hang out. So this is piquing my interest. So
yeah,
I want to find out just how powerful Goofy is. That's the biggest thing.
You will definitely find out how powerful Goofy is.
Can we see his final form?
Basically the equivalent of it, yeah.
Gorfy. His final form.
So yeah, basically talking about I already have a video up on my channel called Kingdom Hearts Changed My Life. That basically talks about my history with the series. But to summarize, I was a gamer who the only games I could get around playing my parents was like the age appropriate ones that were licensed off of like movie and TV and video games and stuff like that. And I saw a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 2 on Disney Interactive's website, and it was the greatest thing ever. Because like just seeing like these weird anime people playing around with Disney characters, and they look so cool. Like the Kingdom Hearts 2 box art. Hold on a second. Because I have my laptop up here anyway, I'm gonna pull this up for a quick second so I can show you like what this looks like. Because it's so like look at this art for Kingdom Hearts 2. Like that's wild.
I'm seeing something I haven't ever seen before.
Exactly. You get like there's these weird anime people, but then like up against this like really ominous setting, you see Mickey Mouse in this black hood, and he's just like, oh yeah. And I was just like, what is this game? I need to play it. So I begged my parents to play Kingdom Hearts 2. The cashier, I remember when I went to buy it at EB Games. The cashier literally turned to my dad and said, like, this is one of those games you will never want to trade in. Like, this is a godlike game. So I knew it was fate. right from that day.
The cashier also warned you about the future of trading games and how you only get pennies for them. What a good guy.
Oh, what a champ. So yeah, I bought the game, played it, loved it. I went out and bought the original. I went out and found the original game at Blockbuster, because Blockbuster was still around at this time.
Oh, don't remind me. Bring back sad memories.
Sad memories. And yeah, I played the first game too, loved it. I looked more into the series online, and I've been a fan ever since. Yeah, that's basically my history in a nutshell. Like I said, my videos on my channel, if you want to go check out like more in depth of like everything and my history with like every other game. Yeah. Did you come into contact in any way before I spouted it off, Josh?
I heard about it in high school for a little while. I know loved the series as well, but that was just about it. Because he made a Keyblade, an actual Keyblade in welding class.
That's wild.
Yeah. Other than that, like I grew up with N64 and PC a little bit until later on I finally got a Wii and then PS3. So I didn't have a PS2. I had a GameCube for a little while, but not for very long. So I was more Nintendo driven. And pretty much the two games I remember growing up with would be Diablo and Doom, which is not something you usually get your 7 to 8 year old to start playing.
Fair enough.
But that and also the free games you used to get in cereal boxes. I remember.
Yes.
I wish that was still a thing.
Yo, the Atlantis demo, I played that so many times.
Dude, I had one that was a bunch of Disney like mini games, and the other one was Monopoly.
Oh my god.
Monopoly was awesome. Like the characters had voices, like they had voice actors for the different pieces. I remember the money bag was just a douche. Like he was just a sack of shit. Like every time he would like pass you or something like that, he had some smart ass thing to say. But good memories. Like I gotta see if I can find that game online because we don't have the CD-ROM anymore, I think. But yeah, I Kingdom Hearts. To go back on the topic, I've only heard through word of mouth and then played at your place for about a minute and a half. So I have like absolutely no experience other than I know it was a super big series, but never really looked into it. I was more of the FPS guy thanks to my dad.
Yeah, where I was the opposite way because my parents would never let me play those ultra-violent games. So I stuck to my crazy JRPGs and movie licensed games. I have started getting into like other game franchises and stuff like that as I've grown up and played more games. But like this dumb game, more or less for kids, has still stuck with me and inspired me more than like any other game that I've played, and it's kind of wild how much of an influence it's had on me. I honestly gotta think you're in for something. I don't know if it's gonna be as life changing as it was for you as it was for me, but like I do think you might get a kick out of it.
I'm gonna see you next, just wearing one of those Mickey hoodies with like it's a black hoodie with like the big ears on the hood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up with the Keyblade.
Oh my god. Yeah. Next time we go to Anime North, that'll be our group cosplay.
Oh my god.
We'll be like Peter and Family Guy. Let me go get my Donald Duck uniform. I'm ready. But yeah, I guess sort of going into expectations. So we are going to go into the first game. You haven't, as of recording this, you haven't touched anything of the first game, correct?
Yeah, I think it was the second one or a different one.
It was probably the second one
that I played for a little bit. So yeah, the first one I haven't haven't touched at all.
Mm-hmm. So basically, going into the first Kingdom Hearts game, because I'm gonna try and make you go into each game as blind as possible. Like, I'll probably explain a few things before we go in, like for example the chain of memory stuff. But for Kingdom Hearts 1 specifically, do you have any sort of expectations when you go in?
I expect a lot of weird shit. Like, I expect a lot of, like, them trying to figure things out because it's their first game. So there's probably going to be a lot of, like, how could we use character X effectively in this scenario? And then maybe a lot of, like, I'm not too sure. Like, I'm trying to think back to the early days of 3D gaming where they were still trying to figure out stuff. I have a feeling there might be some Quicktime events thrown in.
Surprisingly, I'll explain. Actually, no, I probably shouldn't. Fuck it. For the first game, no, there actually isn't any Quicktime events. Surprisingly, later on in the series, there will be quite a few. But yeah, I will agree. Just sort of, to keep it vague, you kind of are on the ball that, like, they do sort of try and figure stuff out as they go. But I still think sort of the first game is still pretty tight. Like me personally, just having been spoiled by later games in the series, going back to the first one, you're just like, this combat is something. But
it's combat, right?
Yeah, but like I think for our first game, it is still like really solid, and I think you'll have fun with it. Any other sort of predictions that you have going in, or?
I'm just trying to think too. Back in that time, because they obviously good to do stuff with Disney. I'm just trying to think of the game came out 2001. You said
2002.
2002. Well, it would have been in development for
2 years. It was in.
So the 90s. Like, I'm trying to think of what Disney stuff besides, like, maybe The Lion King was super big around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Toy Story, but I know they haven't done that until later on.
Until now.
So I'm an uber Toy Story fan. I don't know. I'm pretty blind on this. So it makes it exciting. I predict that asses are going to be kicked and the good guys will prevail, but there's going to be either a cliffhanger or an ending that may leave it open. I'm not too sure.
Good predictions. Good predictions. So yeah, like I said, you haven't touched the game. After we're done recording, we're probably gonna jump into the first game, and then next episode we'll sort of come back and we'll have a little bit of a discussion. It'll probably be longer than this episode. Like we're only 20 minutes in, but like I felt like I kind of knew this intro was gonna be like kind of short, but like I kind of wanted to talk to you about sort of like the history and give you some ideas about what to look forward to and sort of talk about like what you were expecting and stuff like that. And hopefully you'll be more lively and you won't be sick when we record next time.
I won't be dying. Yeah, for all those out there, I wake up, I roll over at like 1:30 p.m. and see my phone that says Devon's text me saying, "Hey, you still coming over today?" And then the next text, question mark. I was like, oh fuck, this was at 11 o'clock. So I answer back, yeah, I'm still planning to come over today. I slept like a bag of shit. So hence why I'm just getting up now. Mm-hmm. But I am still ready to win it. I'm gonna whoop some ass. Get some of those kingdoms and the hearts.
Hey, you can't see me right now, but I'm dabbing.
He's totally dabbing.
But yeah, I think I think we're gonna go into the first game. So I think we're gonna cut this episode here. Thank you as always, Josh, for joining me today.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to pop my Kingdom Hearts cherry.
Oh dear Lord. I'm definitely leaving these uncensored. So thank you all so much for checking out today's video. Next episode, we will be discussing Kingdom Hearts 1 in its entirety, full spoilers, getting Josh's opinion on the game, and then ask him about some predictions that he might have for the future of the series based off of where the first game leads off. If you played the first game, then you probably have an idea of where it could go, or you've probably played all the games and obsessed over them like I have. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts, and share it around with your friends. And be sure to follow Shadow Shover Productions on both Twitter and Instagram for more of yours truly. Josh, you have any final remarks?
Yeah, go onto my Patreon and I don't have a Patreon.
I don't have a Patreon yet. Have you seen my subscriber count? I am nowhere near ready for a Patreon account.
My PayPal is.
Dear Lord.
Send me some free stuff. Some Kingdom Hearts related stuff. Devon would love that.
Actually, yes, I would like that. I need more merch. Yeah, until next episode, thank you guys so much for watching. May your heart be your guiding key. Take care, everybody. Bye.